Yeah, considering that you have this image of a very independent woman who writes direct, blah, blah, was it difficult to get into the skin of this woman who's suffering from this macho type psychopath in a way?
Yeah, no, I loved it because it was actually playing the opposite of who I am,
Yeah.
Because for me, it's like I wouldn't even stay 5 minutes. I couldn't even survive 10 days in a relationship such, And I'm sure he lured her because those men are very charming and stuff. But for me, it was so interesting to play someone very opposite of me. And also they're in a very upper class world and rich and money from money, kind of suffocated with rules and unspoken truth and all that stuff which is the opposite of my world. So it was very interesting for me to go there.
Julie, what's the biggest satisfaction that you get from creating characters, creating stories as a filmmaker and as an actress? And
I love creating stories and characters because I love exploring, I love trying to find truth and meaning to this existence, so for me, writing is a way to, so many people talk to me about like how much, the before movies spoke to them. And, I wrote, even though we were not credited, Ethan and I wrote so much of what we say in the first film. Most of the dialogue Ethan and I wrote then is written by us. And, it was interesting for me to see how it spoke to so many people because, the power of words and how it provokes emotions and it brings people to being able to share profound feelings with people that you don't even know. That's what a film does or a book does,
So,
and how it helped me when I was a kid. I felt quite alone as a child. I felt different from the other children. And so when I started reading a lot and watching a lot of films, I was like, oh, you can communicate through words and stories very deeply to others. And I think that's a magnificent way of living your life,
What do you think was the impact of introducing Liam into this world of rich people with a problem there?
Yeah, so there is this horribly condescending thing with Sinclair that, he doesn't come from the same caste of people. And I think she despised that about Sinclair as well. And I think that's why Alice cast me. She didn't want someone also maybe British, uptight. She wanted a French woman or someone at least not in that British, uptight, upper class kind of world, because she wanted her to be different than him in a way, which also justifies that she rebels eventually against him. If she had been this upper class British woman, she would have complied all along till the end, I think. So it kind of allowed her to rebel in a way.
My last question, you were saying that while growing up, you were very different from other kids, but I guess it was because you lived in, practically you were born in movies, right? And I would like to know if that determined your love for this industry.
Yeah, I was born, my father is a cinephile. I mean, I would go to the cinema 4 or 5 times a week, every week of my life. So we saw everything you can think of. And, we would go to Revival House, Cinematheque and everything. So yeah, I was born and raised in movies, but not just that. I was different in a way because my parents were both super duper hippies, free spirit. And I didn't understand the system in school that was, kind of shutting down my creativity and imagination. And it didn't work for me. Now schools are better, but at the time, the 80s, 70s and stuff, it was all about kind of making children not ask too many questions and just follow the book or whatever you had to follow. So it didn't work for me at all.
Well, great. Thank you. Congrats and great seeing you again. Take care.
Thank you. Thank you. Great seeing you again.
Ciao.
Bye. Ciao.
Bye.
Bye.
Bonne soirée, bonne journée.
Bonne soirée. Merci.